Hey, we're here to talk about conditionals and helper functions. So when you're talking about conditionals, usually you end up answering questions like, how many of these numbers are between 5 and 10? So including 5 and 10. Well, so I'm going to call that just count numbers. So it's going to take in 4 numbers and puts out a number. And so, for example, count numbers 5, 6, 7, 8. That should put out 4 because all 4 of those numbers are between 5 and 10. And say you have count numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. That should put out 3 because there are 3 of those numbers that are between 5 and 10. Let's say you have count numbers 10, 5, 30, and -8. That should put out 2 because 10 and 5 are the only 2 numbers there that are between 5 and 10, including the ends. So one of the things we see when people start writing functions like this with repetition is a lot of copy and paste code, which we really don't like. So let me give you an example of the bad code first. This is bad. Which have a conditional. The first thing we're going to check is x between 5 and 10. Well, if it is, then we count 1, and otherwise count 0. And then usually the plan is add these up. So plus, whoops, these should go on the same line to make it look good. And then I see a lot of this where people copy this part and paste it in 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And like X, Y, Z, W. Whoops, 4 times was too many. All right, so this function works. It'll pass those checks. But the human here is doing too much work. The human should not be copy and pasting, changing all the variable names. One of the ways you can tell that this code is not optimal is, what if you need to count between 8 and 15? If you have to change this code to count between 8 and 15, you have to go up here and edit 8, 8, 8, 8, 15, 15, 15, 15. You've got 8 edits to make for a very small change. That doesn't look like a good idea. It's not a good idea. So let's fix that. This bad method is close to a good method. You're right that you need to do to count, but let's make a count 1 function that just takes in x. What do you think the count 1 function should do? Think about it for a minute. Oh, I think you could take this part right here and put it into your count, just this first conditional. Take it in, put it into your count 1 function. Now, after you have your count 1 function, you can replace all of these parts with count 1x, count 1y, count 1z, count 1w. Now this has turned a bad function into a good function because there's much less repetition. Now if you ask the question, how would you change this to count between 8 and 15? Well, change the 5 to an 8 and change the 10 to a 15 and you're done. That's a good design. I'm going to run it so you can see that it actually works. There you go. Looks great. Thanks for listening.